All right. We're now at the top of the hour, and we're going to kick off just to be respectful of everyone's time. Uh, Hello, everyone. My name is Emeka Afibo, and on behalf of all my colleagues and volunteers and everybody who's been part of these great efforts, to make it happen, um, I would like to welcome you on behalf of the Africa Deep Tech Foundation and the Africa Deep Tech community to today's event, where together we're going to discover the winners of the Africa Deep Tech Challenge 2025. This has been a long time coming, and it's something that we were really excited about. So just a very, very brief background about the Africa Deep Tech Foundation. We're basically call it like a movement that aims to ignite the passion for deep tech in Africa and its diaspora by inspiring and educating folks through workshops and resources, empowering innovators with mentorship and funding, and showcasing the best of Africa's technological achievements, both locally and globally, while building a collaborative international network of innovators through startups, tech hubs, and companies that are in this space. I like to say that our community boasts of a cross-section of the best, that the continent has to offer in terms of the deep tech ecosystem. And you can see just a sampling of that in our judges here. And we're so glad to have them and grateful to have them with us. So coming to the challenge itself, this challenge, the Africa Deep Tech Challenge 2025, was launched on May 14th. And our mission in launching it was to identify and support some of Africa's most promising innovators, people like you all who are watching and have participated in this challenge, that are building breakthrough tech that can thrive under resource-constrained conditions. And we believe that in spotlighting and empowering folks like you to create these solutions that flourish despite the limitations of our continent, it's going to move our ecosystem forward. The stakes are really, really high, as you know. We're offering about $20,000 total in equity-free grants, and we've offered personalized mentorship and direct access to investors, who are interested in what you're building. So it's really, really great. If you haven't been following the competition up till now and you're asking yourself, what have these people been building? I would encourage you to, visit the submissions gallery. And I can tell you, at least I'm speaking for myself, and I'm sure everybody on the judging panel, that we were simply blown away by the quality of submissions that we got. It was really, really awesome. So, use the link, the QR code on the panel, go to the gallery and take a look and see what, what Africans or what you have actually built. So just a recap of what happened during the challenge. It's really been an incredible journey, to be honest. We kicked off the challenge. We hosted 5 bi-weekly info sessions that help guide participants through the challenge and expectations and provide them with all the background knowledge they needed to excel. We shared over 100 technical resources for participants. We provided a Telegram channel to support them. We collaborated with over 13 partners who leaned in to provide insights on innovation and commercialization and helped us get the word about the challenge to as many people as possible. And we had about 14 accomplished mentors that helped provide guidance and insights to those who made it to the semifinals, which was really, really awesome and great to see. So it wouldn't be, wouldn't be complete if we didn't give a little bit of shout out to everybody who helped us get to this part of the journey. First of all, I'd like to call out Future Africa, IHS, and the Ilorin Innovation Hub. I would say, they were like our premium partners for this event. And I'll say that this challenge could not have taken shape in the form that you saw it if it was not for these partners who leaned in to say, they heard about what we're doing and they were like, what you're trying to do is too small. We're going to make it 10x bigger and make it more exciting. And Future Africa, if you don't know them, they're like, in my opinion, one of the top VCs in the continent that when it comes to actual ecosystem building, right? A lot of VCs will tell you that they are all about the ecosystem at large. But I'll say that Future Africa actually backs that up, right? They have arguably one of the best cross-continent acceleration programs there is. So you should definitely check them out. But thank you to our partners. Thank you to IHS that provided a lot of the problem statements and Ilorin Innovation Hub as well for everything you've done to get this out in the community. Would also love to thank Data Melon, the ARM Distinguished Ambassador Community, the 3MTT program, EMSI, Rust Africa, GDG Lagos, the Co-Creation Hub, the ISN Innovation Hubs, Kela, ARVR Africa, the Omniverse, Web3 Africa. The list goes on and on. But this is just a small indication of the fact that it really takes a village to drive and grow innovation, and we're grateful to these partners for that. If you look on the screen, you're going to see an amazing list of individuals who are our judges, very distinguished in their fields. So I just want to give a shout out to them before we start. We have Judith Okonkwo, Omojumila, Julian Duru, Shehu Umar, Mbangula Lamek, Silas Adekunle, Alex Sado, and Zach Elfasi. These guys had a very, very difficult job. I can tell you that, and they can tell you themselves, in trimming down the more than 400 submissions that we got to the final 8 that we have today, right? They had a very, very difficult job, stayed up at odd hours, are staying up at odd hours right now to make this happen. And we're really, really grateful to have them on this journey with us. So please show your appreciation for them. We had a lot of, I mentioned that we had subject matter experts. Those of you who participated in the challenge will remember the info sessions that we held where people came to share their knowledge and best practices with the community. And so I'd like to give a shout out to them. We had the likes of Oluwatobi Onyola. Some of you may remember him, Guinness World Record holder. We had the likes of Peter Ing. We had Maxwell Maduka of Terra Industries. And we had our ever-present Oga Shehu, as I like to call him, Shehu Umar, also with us. And then we did mention that every team that got to the semifinals was assigned a mentor, at least one mentor that worked with them in different areas, ranging from storytelling to the technology side, to the business side of things and beyond. And we'd like to give a shout out to them. These are very, very established and distinguished individuals in the space, likes of Oluwatoyin Aromeke, Dayo McIntosh, Adia Soho, Johnson Agobwa, Christina Banati, Colin Sundukwe, Toby Oyinyola, Kofi Enning, Peter Ing, Jennifer Ilekwe, Paula Debulu, Kofi Dadzie, Moses Olafenwa, Oluwaseyi Olabusola, and Wole Odetayo. These are very, very distinguished folks who, gave of their time just to make sure that our semifinalists were the best they can be. You can Google them to see their profile, and you won't doubt me when I say that they are really distinguished folks. And lastly, I'd like to give a shout out to the entire ADTC community and the project team. Everything you've seen on this event, on this challenge, every single thing from the first day till now and beyond has been powered by volunteer and community effort. Every single thing, right? You know, this is an African initiative driven by Africans and an African organization purely out of like the only thing I'll just say is love, right? Love for the mission, love for the continent, and passion. So I want to thank the entire ADTC community and specifically the project team for this, for this challenge. A small but mighty team. It's very hard to appreciate that everything you've seen and experienced was powered mainly by the folks here, Bola Ali, Fumi Olumoko, and Zach Elfasi, who did an amazing, amazing job, to get us to this point. So just wanted to share my gratitude to them. Okay, so let's talk very quickly about the milestones that we've reached together so that people who are not part of the challenge can understand exactly how we got here, right? So like I said, we launched on May the 13th. We had more than 13 sponsors and partners across the continent. We had the info sessions, like I mentioned, to share more information and context so that everybody had the tools and the knowledge to make things happen. We had about 2,863 participants who registered for this challenge from across 14 countries, or more than 14 countries. And these participants, working together or individually, submitted 421 submissions. And after we'd done the initial vetting, like maybe trimmed off some that we thought were not going to be up to scratch and were spam submissions or whatever, we ended up with about 350 vetted quality submissions that went into the actual judging process, right? Bolahon and I were joking on our podcast recently that when we kicked off this initiative, we said that if we're able to get 100 submissions, that would be amazing. And we ended up with 350 vetted quality submissions. And we had the difficult job of trimming them down to 16 semifinalists who now went into a mentorship and due diligence phase where they were assigned mentors and excuse me, let me take a drink of water. They were assigned mentors, and also due diligence was conducted on them. We had meetings with them to understand them and their teams. And then they went into, and they also had time to, tweak their submissions again and brush it up and bring it up to scratch based on feedback they got from the mentors. And then they went into another judging round, from which we had the difficult job of picking the 8 finalists that you're going to be seeing today. So that's like the process and how we got to this point. Cool. So let's get into it. Just to give you an overview of what you're going to be experiencing today, we're going to be moving as fast as we can just to be respectful of your time. This is the agenda. We're doing the welcome address and introductions right now. And after this, we're going straight into the pitch sessions. We'll do the first part of the pitch sessions. We'll have a 5-minute break. Then we'll go into the second part of the pitch sessions. After the second part of the pitch, we're going to have a fireside chat with the founding partner of Future Africa. Then we'll go into another break. While the fireside chat is happening and the break is happening, the judges will go off and deliberate on, picking the final winner. We'll come back, we'll announce the winners, and if there's any closing remarks, we'll give those, and we'll close. Again, we're trying to move as fast as possible, respect your time, and honor these awesome collaborators who have built amazing, amazing stuff. So in terms of how the pitch will work, very quickly, each team is going to be called on as a panelist. So they're going to show up on the screen. You're going to see them. We're going to play the 2-minute video that was submitted for the semifinals by this team. So it's a pitch video. After this, the team will have about 5 minutes to answer any live questions from the judges, right? So the teams are not pitching live here. They have a pitch video that we're going to play, and they're going to answer live questions from the judges within 5 minutes. Obviously, because it's just 5 minutes, the judges and finalists are asked to keep their questions and responses brief and to the point so that you can maximize your 5 minutes and, get the best out of it. After the teams have been questioned, when each team is finished, they will be demoted back to an attendee, and the next team will be promoted to a panelist, and we'll do it all over again. After all the teams have been questioned, the judges will deliberate and winners will be announced. There's going to be an audience vote at the end, so you actually get to pick your own winner, who you feel your own winner is, and those people will be getting a little something as well. If you have a question for any of the finalists, the audience is encouraged to put questions they have for the finalists in the chat, and the finalists can respond in the chat once you leave the panel. So once you're done answering the judge's question and you're back in the panel, you can look through the chat and see any questions that the audience has for you. And you can respond and have conversations in the chat. That's highly, highly encouraged. Again, the goal here is to showcase this amazing work that these finalists have done and enable you to interact with them. And so, yeah, without wasting any more time, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's get into it. And so I will be calling on my colleague Fumi to take us through the first pitch session.
Hi everyone. My name is Oluwafumilayo Olumuku, and we're going to be starting the pitch sessions right now, and we're going to be starting with muscle. So the muscle team comprised of 2 people, and they're based in Ghana, and they built a feed tech sort of inventory, basically, was majorly an inventory management application and an inventory management device to help digitize small scale retail operations on the continent. And now we're going to be playing their pitch video, after which the judges will ask them some questions.
Hello, I'm new from Muscle, and I'd love to share a story with you. As a young boy, I often helped out at my auntie's shop whenever she had to step out. And before leaving, she would always say the same thing. Dean, do not forget to write down everything bought at the shop today. And when I return, you give an account of everything sold at the shop. At that time, that felt like a simple task. But looking back, I can see how this revealed much deeper problems faced by millions of small retailers across Africa, which are poor inventory management, sales tracking, and bookkeeping. This inspired the creation of Muscle. Let me show you how Muscle works. Yeah, this is the Muscle POS, and this is the barcode scanner. The barcode scanner connects the Muscle POS. On my far left are the items that are going to be processed through the Muscle POS. On each item is a barcode ID that uniquely identifies the product. Right, so as you can see here, we have the name of the product, which is Sardine, right? And the brand is Geisha, and the price is also included. I just have to enter the quantity. Similar for this carnation milk. You can see the name, the weight, and the price. Just have to enter the quantity and we are good to go. The last item here is this spray. As you can see, the name of the spray is shown there and the price is also shown as well. From there, you just have to, the total shows here and it's pushed on the internet for the shop viewer to see the transaction process.
On Muscle's web application, you just need to log in. And on the transaction tab, we can see the recent transaction as shown here.
All right. So that is the pitch video for Mosul. And any questions from the judges?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
All right, so I noticed that in the documentation, you reference the component on the device being primed to work offline. So that means that the infrastructure is mostly offline based, and you have a cloud component that you can always use for backup. So I wanted to ask, how do you manage covering the cost of cloud infrastructure?
Okay. So basically, as of now, we have we basically run an SQLite based SQLite item which contains a database of all the items to be scanned locally on the device. Right. So when the transaction is done, the user just have to push to the cloud, and from the cloud, it's pushed on the back end. Right. So currently, with what we have, the the cost is basically based on the transaction, the endpoint you use. As of every time you hit the endpoint, there's a cost on that.
Okay, so is it like a kind of serverless function that you just hosted on the cloud and something like that?
Yes.
Okay, let someone else ask a question.
All right, Alex, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you very much, and great video. I am new to the POS space, so I was curious how your platform compares to existing POS that exists that retailers use already. Is it that they're not offline already, or maybe there's something else? Maybe this is cheaper. It would have been good to see that on the video. And then, if you can, what's what part of your technical implementation are you most proud of?
Oh, okay. So there are a number of POS devices out there, right? The one mostly used are these bulky computers, mostly used at ShopRite and these big enterprises, right? For small retailers, these are very expensive and they are power dependent, right? And also, it's sometimes very expensive to operate. So we realized that we want to do something new that also feels like an old thing, right? So the calculator shape feels like an old thing, but then it gives you a new touch, right? So with a calculator, you'll be able to have a barcode connected to the module POS, which looks like a calculator. That makes it feel new and old at the same time. Then from there, you can do that transaction. So basically, the amazing part is the fact that we're able to build something portable that is mostly used in big infrastructures like computers and laptops to scan processes. But then we made it very simple, very portable, very battery powered, and very easy to use. That's one of the things that we are proud of. And also being able to run the device offline, where we have a database where we scan each and every product that the user wants to process.
All right. Any other questions? We have like about 2 minutes. Okay, Zach, please go ahead.
Thank you. Excellent project and presentation. But one quick question: how does, or rather, what's the one thing that you had to overcome for this project to get shipped?
Come again, I didn't get you. What is one thing that we have
to overcome? Like, what's one problem, or what's one
one challenge?
some challenge, yeah, that you went
Yes.
through while building this project?
Okay, so one of the challenges we're going through is being able to link components with their barcode ID. There are numerous components, there are numerous products in Ghana, right? And all these products have unique barcode ID. So we have to get to a number of market people who work in ShopRite, shops, be able to help us gather all these data. So they provided details on the name of the product, the weight, and mostly the barcode, right? So you have to keep all these logs. We run a Python script that takes all these things into a SQLite database. Then we generate it as a live file and we push it to the device.
Okay, and so you're doing this across all products, and you offer them for all merchants, so they don't have to do the data entry themselves, right?
Okay, I think he dropped off. But
Yep.
we're left with we're left with 15 seconds. So, yeah, we'll just wrap up that session and move to the next. So the next on the list is Edge Vendor. Okay, can we have the Edge Vendor team on, please? Edge Vendor, they built a portable edge device where you can do your billing and ticketing of snooker tables offline, or all these table games offline and on the edge. And so we'll be watching their pitch video right now.
Hi, my name is Chimawakigwe. I am a software engineer at Edge Vendor. We are building offline access control for games. Snooker and football merchants struggle with manual payment collections. This often leads to frustrated players and inaccurate revenue collections. At Edge Vendor, we are solving this by automating snooker and football table with an offline smart controller, thereby giving players seamless access and merchants automated control and real-time revenue tracking.
So we are testing out our controller that has been deployed on a snooker board. So I've generated a 10-digit token from our app. So I'm trying to impute it. So it's going to grant me access to the balls. So enter, access granted. So now the controller has given me access to the balls. So I'm currently bringing out the balls. Mind you, this whole operation is done offline. The controller is not connected to any server. It is entirely offline. So if I try to reuse the token that has already been used, it's going to deny the access with the token used message. So I'm imputing the same token. So enter, token used, as you can see. So if I try to generate a random token, it's going to deny the access. Access denied, access denied.
For our core technology, we developed a proprietary algorithm for our vending service. So it's in charge of generating and encrypting the token for a specific board which lives in the server. Then we also have a decryption algorithm that runs offline on a 32-bit RISC microcontroller that decrypts the generated token for that specific board. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, and now we're going to the questions and answers for Edge Vendor. Okay, we're starting with Moju this time.
Congratulations on what you guys have done. I really, really like it. I understand how it works. We have the token, it will dispense the physical artifacts. But my thing is, what if the players refuse? What happens after the game is over? How do we close that loop? Are they gonna, I could just hold those snooker balls hostage and then be hustling them to other people on other tables. So I really like the way you're going, but I have concerns about the last mile. So have you thought about that, and what's your solution for that part?
Okay. Can I answer that?
Yes, please, you can go
All right.
ahead.
Can you guys hear me clearly? Okay. So
Yes,
the nature of the game. Okay. The nature of the game is to have the winner. One person has to put all his balls, and when the balls are being potted in, they are trapped inside the table, inside the tray. So you don't have access to that ball. So if you want to hold the ball, which is not possible because, I mean, you're going against the rule of the game. And for you to play the game, you must have to put the balls inside the holes, which will be trapped in by the table. And for you to release the balls for another session of play, you have to generate a token and impute it, and the mechanism release the balls for you.
Okay. Next question, Alex.
Maybe Zach, if you wanted to go first.
You can go.
my question is, what kind of customer will benefit the most from this innovation?
So, first of all, the merchants, that's the snooker merchants. And then secondly, the players, the seamlessness it brings into having to interact with the system.
And why I asked the question is, we're thinking about today, how does this improve on the existing system? If you have just one snooker table, I used to go to these hotels to play snooker. The person is there ready to collect the money and it's quick and easy. So who would benefit from having this automated approach? I don't know
Okay,
if
so the core problem or part of the problem we're trying to solve is accountability. So when we started working on this, we went extensively around snooker tables in South region and the western region of Nigeria, starting from Warri down to Lagos, mainland and the island of Lagos. And most of the one key thing the merchants re-echoed is revenue leakage. They don't get the exact revenue they expect. And this leads to people being able to game the system and most of them using free play. So it's more like having to put somebody in a shop where you can't account for this system. But when you have this vending system, vending the balls out for every time a player wants to enjoy himself on the table, I mean, there's this accountability. And another benefit is you don't have to be there. You can monitor this from your mobile phone because you're vending this token and you can see the revenue at the number of counts of transaction. So that's the core of the problem.
So, Zach, I think we can only take Zach's question before the time runs out.
It's a pretty similar question. So if you have like a one sentence response, what changes if you succeed? Not just for customers, but for the ecosystem. As in, how do we go from snooker impact to broader impact?
So, longer vision, we're moving into building offline vending systems. So where people can have access to infrastructures, games. We're extending this down to football. I believe most of you know football. Extending it down to football, extending it down to arcade, and also other infrastructure. Putting offline vending solution alongside low-cost computing device.
All right.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah. So next, we're moving to the next finalist. Project FarmSpeak. So this project is about farm management, and they're basically built devices that are tracking all the key sensors or the key parameters in a farm, especially in a poultry farm. And we're going to be watching their pitch video right now.
Hello, my name is Adeze and I'm representing Team FarmSpeak. African poultry farmers lose up to 40% of their birds every year due to heat stress, poor monitoring, and climate shock, and this is threatening both food security and farmers' income. So we have developed a solution that helps poultry farmers solve these problems, and this is how it works. Our patented solar-powered IoT device is embedded with sensors that collect real-time poultry data such as temperature, humidity, air quality, water level, and water temperature from the poultry houses. And this data is fed into our cloud server where it gets analyzed. And in turn, farmers get actionable insights on what is going on in their poultry houses through our AI-powered FS Manager app, or they receive instant SMS alerts. Now, in the case of any environmental imbalance, this device, through our add-on plugin, can turn on your fans or your heating system as the case may be, so farmers can reduce bird mortality and cut down on energy consumption costs through our solution. Our business model is simple. We charge per bed per circle, and even the smallest farms can access our technology without upfront costs. Our innovation is patented and engineered with IoT, AI, remote sensing, sensors such as the HT sensor MQ135, and we even have SIM 808 GSM model in usage. Data flows via MQTT protocol to our communication server. And this gives farmers insights on diseases and also climate stress. This solution is pretty simple. It's a plug and play device and farmers don't have to stress. This is a vital technology built in Africa and for African farmers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team FarmSpeak. And now we're going to the questions. Any questions from the judges for Team FarmSpeak? Okay, Lamek, please go first.
Thank you very much. I really love this solution. My question is, how have you validated these algorithms that they really do what they meant to do? Have you used external data set to validate it? Because when you claim that your AI can predict diagnostic of, for example, heat stress, how have you validated this?
Okay. Thank you for that question. Can you hear me clearly, just to confirm?
Yes, please. We can hear you.
Okay. Yes. So we have collected data from the farms over time. So the goal for us is to give farmers advisory and analysis based on their operational practice. So we don't just give them generic informations. We match the data that have been collected from the sensors and also the operational practices like the feed, water intake, and medications to give them best advisory services. And yeah, so that's how we do it. So at the initial stage, we rank the whole data that have been collected from all our sensors within that location. That's as the initial stage. After like 1 month, we have enough data to help the farmers predict what their next 2 month cycle will be like.
Okay. Next question, Julian.
Yes, I had a bunch of questions I wanted to ask. The first one is closely related to the previous one, which is how you ascertain the correctness and validity of your system. I think maybe because of time, we couldn't delve too deep, but it'd be interesting to see like the quality control measures you take to make sure that your predictions are accurate, there are no false positives and all of that stuff. The next question I wanted to ask is, how do you, like, what are your primary costs in running this system? What are your primary costs? How do you price your product, and how much does it cost to install and run your system?
Okay, thank you for the question. So for you to acquire the entire system, Pancake is a solar powered system and also the control system. Just like the way you acquire your DSTV or GoTV, you get the hardware for 170K, and then we start charging you per bird per circle. So for a broiler farmer, after acquiring the entire device for 170K, including the solar panel, the Pancake itself, and the control system, we start paying 15 naira per bird as a broiler farmer. And then because you do 6 to 8 weeks, they are shorter cycles. Then for a layer farmers that do over a year, we charge them 15 naira per bird.
Is it the same? Is it the same amount, like regardless of the scale of the farm? Because poultry farms aren't the same size; they run at different scales. So does the scale?
That is why we picked this business model, so that every farmer we charge. So if a farmer is having 15,000 birds and a broiler farmer, you're paying 15 naira times 15,000. If you're having 200 birds, you're paying 15 naira by 200. So you're able to afford it across all the range of farmers.
Okay, fair. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from the judges?
Are you currently? Oh, sorry, I didn't know it was. Can I go?
Okay, you quickly go then, Lamek.
Yeah. I was going to ask, are you currently in the market? How many active customers do you have? Is this something you can share? Just curious.
Yes, please. So for the hardware, we've piloted across 50 farms across Ogun State, Lagos State, and Ibadan through the Poultry Association of Nigeria. And we're looking to scale into aquaculture and greenhouse because this device is a scalable device. It's not just for poultry farms. So for poultry farms, the hardware has gone across 50 farms, while the software alone, people have subscribed for the AI disease diagnosis, and we have 2,813 customers at the moment that have signed up, and then active users are around 450 per month.
Okay. Lamek, quickly.
Yeah, I'll be fast with this one. My next question is, okay, let's say I acquire the system, then I use it on my farm, and then it gives a wrong prediction, which leads to me losing, for example, 50,000 beds or 20,000 beds, or it can even be 10 beds. What accountability mechanisms that you have put in place to ensure that, you also protect the farmers from things that can go wrong with AI?
Okay, so let's start from the first part where we collect information from the farm. Let's say from the brooding phase, an optimum temperature needed is about 35 to 36 degrees Celsius. And at this point, you are hitting your pen house is hitting to maybe, let's say, 36 or 37. At that point, even though the system can automate itself, but the system is noticing that it's not happening like that. It sends an SMS to the farmer to let him know that the heater, the fans are supposed to be on at this point, but the heat is not going down. So this happens every 3 minutes where we send SMS to the farmer. So in that way, human intervention is needed to act on it. That's for the IoT. Then for the predictions, what we are feeding into our model is the data that we have collected from your farm. Because you have been running it over a while, the data that we collect for your farm, we send data to the cloud every minute. So that cumulative data is what we feed into the model to give you your predictions.
All right. Thank you very much. We're out of time. We're going to the next finalist rather. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay. So the next finalist is Metal. Metal has built an innovative system for fintech to monitor. It's an end-to-end system from bank to customer in one same platform, and it's innovative. It's offline. It's a fintech system, and we're going to watch the pitch right now.
Hi, my name is Christian. My parents own a small supermarket in Lagos, which has made me see firsthand in how POS charges can affect Nigerian businesses. With Metal, these fees are reduced to as little as 20 naira, making it possible for these businesses to keep their profits. So this is a live demo that is hosted, and I'll be logging in as Zenith Bank. So this is the API key that we've provided to Zenith Bank, which they can plug into any of our SDKs and then enables their customers to perform a transaction in Metal devices. I'm now signed in as a merchant and I'll be performing a transaction as a customer. So this application is already using the SDK and the API key that we provided to Zenith Bank, and then I'll be switching to airplane mode. Then I'll be performing a transaction of 5,000 naira. And we can see the payment has gone from Kristen, and we can also see it on the dashboard here. 5,000. What makes Metal special is its ability to transmit transactional data fast, secure, and offline. Because Metal is still a microcontroller, that means that it can exist within existing systems such as toll gates and fuel stations and trigger actions like fueling a car. And it's truly an end-to-end system. We provide everything from SDKs, APIs, control center, dashboard to make it possible for businesses and banks to complete transactions seamlessly.
Thank you, Metal. So that's Tim Christian. And we have our first question from Omoju.
Christian, I really like what you're doing, but I need some clarification. Who is the real customer? Is the customer the bank? Do I have to first go to Zenith Bank, have them connect the API key on their end, and then I can then start using it as a merchant? So that's the part that I'm slightly confused about. Can you clarify for me, please?
Oh, okay. So not necessarily, you won't have to go to Zenith Bank. Rather, the merchants will have to register with us. And that's why we'll be kind of like using the NIBS infrastructure. So with that, the merchants, all they need to do is once they acquire the device, they can register an account number with the device. So they never actually have to go to the bank. The bank's own is for normal people that use mobile banking. That's people that will usually come into a supermarket to buy something using their mobile phone. So those are the ones that would kind of like be related to the banks.
Okay, Julian?
So I guess, at some point, right, the banks have to be involved because the bank is like the source of truth on the
Yes.
customer financial state, right?
Yes.
So so you're saying you're using NIBS infrastructure, that's NIP, right? Does that
Yes.
happen? Does that happen like in the background, asynchronously after? Because what you've shown us is some offline tech, right? Tech that runs without connecting to the cloud to do the transaction. At what point
Yeah.
do you bring the banks in? Because the bank, yeah, that's my question.
Okay, so the first thing that actually happens is that the bank would register with us. The reason why the bank registers with us is so that we can establish a link between us and also NIBS, so that we can also provide them with an API, with the API keys they will need to use with our SDKs. So the bank has already registered with us, and then their customers can then, their users can then be able to kind of like to be able to communicate with Metal using the SD. So
Oh,
what
I see.
happens is, that, yes. So what happens is, okay, so what happens is that naturally the hardware device is the one that is connected, or rather the person's mobile phone, the person that wants to perform the in-person payment, their phones are not connected. They don't need to be connected to any mobile network because we use a radio protocol to handle the transmission between the person's phone and the Metal hardware. So the Metal now sends the transactional data to our cloud, which then communicates with NIBS. NIBS handles the processing, sends us back a response, and we display it on both the dashboard and the Metal hardware device.
Okay, so one more question. So there is a hardware device that has to be installed at the merchant's location, right? That's the hub of the transaction.
Yes,
I
that's
see.
hub. Yes.
So now that you've given us this clarification, what is the business model? How are you charging? How are you making money? What's the bank's cut? And if you're doing all of this and you're settling at the bank's end and it's costing very little, why did you not think about going the crypto route? Because you're basically doing the same kind of thing.
Okay. The reason why we wanted to go to the route of using NIBS is because we want NIBS because NIBS is already going to grow. And we want to be able to use something that is within our own country. So we don't have to deal with the currency issues that also happen with MasterCard and Visa card being foreign companies. So we wanted to use something that is within our own country and something that the government is also focused on growing. And so how we do it is that we take a 6 naira fee, which is split between the customer, that's the person making the in-person payments, and the merchant. Because remember that in mobile transfers, the person that is receiving the money doesn't actually get deducted any fee. It comes from the person sending the money. Yes. So after that, then the bank will take its original cut, which is also split between the bank and NIBS, because naturally the banks are still using NIBS to handle these mobile transfers. Yes. So we're just providing that hardware device to make in-person payments as seamless as possible. They don't have to start typing in the account number, searching for the bank, all those things.
So we are out of time now, and we're going to be taking the break right about now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this was just the time that I was putting 5-minute break for anybody who had anything to do. But I'm sure by now you agree with us that the quality, the bar, is indeed very, very, very high. With all the contestants and all the finalists. So before we go on the break, actually, I had one piece of awesome news. One of our more recent partners that came on the scene is a company called Udu Tech. And they just let me know that they are going to be offering access to world-class GPUs through credits to the finalists. And indeed, I think we're having a conversation with them to see if that will also include some of the top-rated semi-finalists and other participants in the challenge. So please check them out and give them a round of applause. Udu Tech is the name. We'll put their link in the chat as well so that you can see them. But just wanted to give that shout out. And so we'll be resuming in about 3 minutes at let me do the math now because of the time zone. In about 3 minutes at 4 minutes to the hour, to the top of the hour. So see you then. And the next team that will be that we will be hearing from is Team Herd. So Team Herd, please get ready. All right. We're back. Welcome back to part 2 of the Africa Deep Tech Challenge Finals. Again, the same format applies. We'll be calling on the finalists in order, and we'll play in the video. The judges will have questions for them, and after they've been questioned, they'll be sent back to being attendees. If you're audience, we've been seeing questions in the chat. Please keep those questions coming. Anything you want to know about the finalists and their solutions, please put it in the chat. And we'll give it 1 more minute for the judges to come back on before we kick off. And I'll be handing off to my colleague, Bolahon.
Okay.
Who will take us through this section. And of course, thank you, Fumi, for a great job, wrangling all the questions and everything.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I hope that you're having a great time. Without further ado, we call on Team Earth. And Emeka, we can play their video. They expect speech to text.
This is our...
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, we can play that.
This is our submission for the dev post. This is a glasses that converts text to speech to text, sorry. So it uses an offline model called VOSC to convert speech to text. For the auditory impaired, because sign language isn't commonly taught, but most of them can read, and we just thought, why not do something for them? So this could actually be done. My team and I saw this competition 4 days to the submission, and we tried our best to put something together. And yeah, basically we came up with this, an offline speech-to-text glasses that project speech to the user in real time via augmented. It's like an augmented reality type of thing. Anyway, we didn't have so much time on our hands. We tried our best. Parts were difficult to get and everything. So we really love an extension. So over here we have a Raspberry Pi 02W, which is running a speech-to-text model, an open source speech-to-text model called Vosk. We have an I2C display and a mirror. The mirror mirrors the text onto this reflective lens. The ability to make this project a complete success if given the time. So for the sake of this demonstration, I'll be using the screen itself because the camera isn't very clear to reflect what is being said there, and it can't really get what's on the screen properly. So
Okay, thank you very much for the video. Now we move on to questions. Daniel, if you want to turn on your camera so our judges can see you. Okay, I can see Omojo on my screen. So do you want to go first?
I believe Alex had his hand up first. Alex.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Alex, please go ahead.
You're muted, Alex.
Alex, you're muted.
Well, there we go. Okay. Yeah, it'll be a quick one. I know you built this very, very quickly. So what are other things you would have added to it? And how has it been tested so far? My guess was that it was meant for perhaps people who have problem with their hearing, right? So have they tested it, and what was the kind of feedback you've gotten?
So, well done. Good day, everyone. We haven't actually been able to test with actual users, although we did make modifications to the setup. And I think at the point of submitting in the finalists, we might have gotten the video mixed up, but we were able to make modifications to the setup. So this has a better, this is better in terms of production in what we've done previously. So what we're working on currently is more like a proof of concept. So we believe that with much time, we'll be able to build something that is a minimum viable product. But right now we're working with a proof of concept. Honestly, we didn't plan to make it this far. We just tried to do something that we knew was innovative. The goal of, the final goal of this project is to get not just a one-way thing where just the auditory impaired individuals get the speech to text on their glasses, but also one for normal people who do not have that disability to be able to convert sign language to text as well for them. So we're still building, and we believe that with the effort we've been putting into it so far, we will be able to come up with something amazing.
All right, I'll go. That's been amazing work. That if that's what you were able to put together in like a week, that's awesome. My challenge is the weight and the bulkiness of the device itself. And I understand it's a prototype and you're going to be working on it. I have a question for you. Have you actually thought about building, just iterating on the model and forgetting about the physical prototype itself? Because then if you could get a third-party device, I don't know, maybe the Meta glasses or some other device from China, and then you load in that model into that device, like to focus more on actually the AI aspect of it, of the speech to text and all that kind of stuff. And then also, if you're doing speech to text, if you go to India where people speak very, very fast and it's projecting in front of my screen, I don't care how, I can't read that. Like, it's just, now you're just going to make me have epilepsy and just throw up, because there's no way I can read that. So there needs to be some way for you to think about the functionality of the problem you're actually trying to achieve.
Right. So concerning the model question, yes, we have put some thought into it. Practically, we put in thought into the fact that there are multiple languages in Africa, and there are multiple dialects and accents that those languages are being spoken with. So we've actually put on our vision board specific accents and language tuning for the model that we are using, because it is something that is doable. But right now we went with this setup because of the context of the competition being in a constrained environment. So like you said, we could have hardware from China or the Meta glasses or even some other open source glasses that are out there. But there is one thing that most of them lack, and that is onboard compute power. So most of the compute is shipped to a mobile device, and we are trying to create something that is completely offline. You don't ship to your mobile. Everything is on your head. If you're in an environment where there is no network, there is no internet, it does not affect your ability to get what you're getting. So that is one thing. Then sorry, trying to remember the last question you asked.
That's fine. Lamek, go before the time runs out.
Thanks. I'm also just piggybacking a little bit on your question because, I wanted to ask how different is it from already existing products? Because even at Google I/O, they actually released a newer version of the same aspect. So what is the novelty in what you're trying to do? And
So
building the language model is one of it. Do you have the data set? Have you already looked at existing data sets? Because African languages are low resource languages, and this is one thing that the community has been grappling for over a lot of years. If you are aware, and are you aware of Masakane?
Not really.
Yeah, please check them out. They are building these data sets. Yeah.
All right,
So
thank you.
maybe you can answer the question of the novelty. What is the novelty of what you're trying to build?
Right. So, like we said, like I said earlier, this is not necessarily something that is new to technology, but the innovation that is here is that one thing we cannot look past is the fact that the economic situation in African countries does not necessarily make it easier for individuals to be able to get most of these high-end things. They cost somewhere around $500 to $1,000 for something really solid, and that's way more, like seriously out of most African range, the budget. So we are going with something more budget-friendly, something more easy. So that is why we came up with something that has onboard compute. Now you have all the compute right on your face. Right now, the setup is really bulky, but we believe that with more nanotechnology, we'll be able to ship down the size. So what we have here is
yeah, we're out of time. So if you just want to quickly, round that up so that, yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. So basically, the difference between this and what is out there is that we have the onboard compute power, and it's not shipping to your phone for extra compute.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tim Head. Now we are going to move on to the next team. Team Power tracks and manages energy usage, and we are going to play the video while we bring them on stage.
Across Africa, millions live without reliable power and affordable connectivity. Telecom operators spend more than $350 million on diesel just to keep cell towers alive. Diesel takes up to 60% of their operating budget, driving up costs and cutting its profits. Now, towers are shifting to solar to save costs, but there's still this massive challenge: the battery lifespan and real-time monitoring. Without proper oversight, batteries fail prematurely, downtime persists, and savings disappear. Power is here to solve this. We have built an AI-powered monitoring system that transforms how towers and mini-grids manage their power, making clean and resilient energy reliable everywhere. Here, power is being installed at a live cell tower. Our device uses less than 5 watts, which is perfect for car sites, homes, and mini-grids. The device constantly measures the battery voltage, the charging current from solar, the temperature of the system, and the backup diesel levels. All data stream instantly to our dashboard, which computes and predicts the battery state of charge, the state of health, the depth of discharge, and tracks diesel usage. Our AI can predict when a battery may fail, how much diesel you will need, and even when to schedule maintenance. Power will extend battery life by 40%, cutting out outages and slashing diesel burnout at the source, empowering site owners and renewable energy mini grids to monitor, diagnose, and upgrade their power systems. In case you wonder what sets power apart, here's what our solution promises. A robust edge AI. Our regression analysis delivers 98% state of charge accuracy, enabling instant insight for preventive maintenance. Energy optimization. Power automatically balances solar batteries and diesel, maximizing uptime and slashing costs. Rugged adaptability. Power is built for Africa's toughest conditions. Easy integration into any existing power systems. Power scales to empower operators and communities with clean energy, resilience, and opportunity.
Thank you. That's the video. The team are now here. Questions from our judges. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, Zach, please go ahead.
I'll open it. This is excellent. It looks like a production ready device, ready to be deployed, ready to be sold. Where are you at in the journey?
Sorry, hello. Can you hear me, please? Can you please go over the question again?
Basically, the question is, where are you at in the journey from innovating the product to actually going to market and selling it and getting customers?
Okay, so right now, Power has actually been tested with one of our partners. That's our first customer, and we are looking forward to testing and piloting it with 500 more customers. But right now, our prototype is ready, and we have tested it with our partner, as you can see from the video. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from our judges? No. Okay,
I have
Zach,
another
please
question.
go.
I can keep going all day. If someone has tried to solve this same problem, why wouldn't they succeed, or why would they fail more than you? And why are you uniquely positioned to build this product?
Okay, so at first, our team is actually made up of power engineering graduates that have actually worked in the power sector for some time briefly. So our team is actually dynamic. We have amazing team members that are actually very good and innovative. So that's one thing. I think team power is something I can talk about, why we are better than the others.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Cheryl?
Yes, good day, Team Power. Just
Good day, sir.
yeah, so I did speak about something like this during one of my sessions. So I want to understand primarily, what are you trying to build? Is it a connectivity box or a box that optimizes? So there are two things, right? So it's a box on a site, and you're trying to put intelligence in the box, right? And then there's power sources, and then there's also need for connectivity. So which one are you solving first? Are you solving the problem of power, or are you solving the problem of connectivity? Because I just want to understand this a bit more, and I would also like to know, this customer you are talking about, what is the use case that you're trying to solve?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I'm glad to have you here. So Power is actually a solution as a service. So you are offering both the hardware and software solution. So the hardware is the IoT part that we showed you. That's the box that's actually using the sensors to get the inputs, and then the input is now what our dashboard and our AI model is going to compute to actually give to actually do the optimization and monitoring, and also to give predictive maintenance insights. So what we are offering is a solution, full package solution, hardware and software, sir. So, and about the test that we did with one of our first personnel, what we did was we actually installed power with its own already power system, and we were able to actually get insight from it. We were able to get input that we were able to use to test our system. We tested our AI model with it, and it worked fine. Thank you, sir.
Now, what is this AI model? What is it? What is it training with? What are you using? What type of data is it picking to train with?
Okay, so I'm the software engineer, so I'll respond to that. So basically, we have an AI system that is actually split into two parts. The first part uses raw data from the hardware to predict the battery's percent and battery's health. And the other part of the AI is more or less like rule-based. So I made a program such that when some certain actions happen, all right, it triggers like an insight, an AI response. So in our software, we have a section called the history section. Basically, every action that happens in the mast, for example, or cell tower, our hardware keeps record of that and displays it on the software. So we have an AI that keeps track of every actions. For example, if maybe the battery of a solar battery was 100%, and in 10 minutes time it dropped to 50%. That's an anomaly. So the AI is going to instantly tell or instantly give an insight telling you that the battery's health is low. And it will also give additional predictive maintenance or advice like the battery won't last the next 10 days, please change. So it just makes managing critical infrastructure far better and far efficient, and also drops costs. Thank you.
Okay, we're actually on time, but we'll take one more question from Julian, and then that will be it. So Julian.
Yeah, the question I wanted to ask is, what's the profile for your typical customer? Like, what's your typical customer?
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for that. So it's actually a customized solution for telecom towers, telecom operators, and also for mini grids. So we are here for mini grids and telecom operators. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Makes sense.
Thank you so much.
Well, you're muted.
Oh my, sorry. Thank you to Team Power. Thank you to our judges for the question. Next is Team Bionics. I will play the video and bring them off stage.
Well, you're muted.
Oh my, sorry. Yeah, please go ahead. What you? I don't know. I can do that.
Ahmed, when I saw that video, I really love what I saw. I have so many questions for you. Number one, what is the time that it takes from seeing the first patient and getting them their prosthesis? And what is the cost of actually delivering that solution?
Okay, thank you. So we have multiple products we are offering. Like for the upper limb, we have Bionic that are moving, cosmetic that are just static. We have the lower limb, and we have the silicone part. So basically, it's from 2-3 days to 2 weeks, up to 3 weeks, depending on multi-factors like complexity of the amputations, sometimes inventory if we have everything. But most of the time, we can serve patient, let's say, generally an average of 3-4 days.
What's the cost of delivery? Like, how much are you charging for, let's
Okay.
say, upper limb bionics?
So for the robotic prosthetics, it's around $8,000, depending on the features, and it's a full solution. So it's the socket, the hand, the silicone glove, the training, the fitting, and the after sales. So it's a CE certified innovation. So it's recognized by European Conformity for medical devices. We have prosthetics from like around 1,500 USD, and we have like for the lower limb starting from 1,500 also. So yeah, it's multiple pricing, multiple let's say combinations.
Okay, thank you. Alex, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Because there was no sound on the video, there's so many questions I have, or rather, no voice that was speaking something. For example, just baby questions. What happens after the patient comes in? What are you doing for 4 days? Are you 3D printing some prosthetic, or what's
Okay.
the technology? What is happening? And can it happen in Nigeria, for example, or what country is this happening in?
Okay, so first question. So basically, we can fit patient without even meeting them physically. That's the first thing. So what we do is we need a 3D scan of the residual limb of the patient, the person with amputation. After that 3D scanning, we can we do 3D modeling of the socket, which is the part where the amputated limb gets inside from hand or leg. Then we do the assembly with the rest of our devices. So for example, we pre-manufacture our own bionic hand, so it's already in the inventory. But what's custom made is made for each patient after the 3D scanning. So we have fitted patients without meeting them physically. We have patients in Libya, we have patients in Algeria. We're trying to scale to Morocco, to Kenya, and to Nigeria. We've been recently in Kenya with the Will Grow Africa. We're trying to go through them to scale. After securing the CE mark a couple of months ago, we are really ready to scale to other countries. We are the only and first certified prosthetic company in Africa and the Middle East, the whole region.
Okay, Alex, do you have more questions? Oh, okay, fantastic. Any other questions? We have about, a couple more minutes. Zach, okay, please go ahead.
Excellent project, very impactful, very unique. My question is, how did the Africa Deep Tech Challenge push you? Like, what have you done since the beginning of the challenge that you wouldn't have done otherwise?
Okay, perfect. So basically, we've been working on this rehab part of the let's say, or the training part of the prosthetic, which is called pre-prosthetic solution, which is the mobile app plus the device that reads the muscle signals and help the patient to train on how to use the prosthetic without being traumatized about the prosthetic. And it's very efficient. So we've been testing that for a couple of weeks now with the newest version, and it's like more than 90% of efficiency with the patients. So basically, they get trained while they're playing with this device. I can send like a follow-up video if you want to see more details. They get trained. There is interactive games, 2D games, where they go left and right with their muscles. Forget I have a hand. So they get trained on how to control the prosthetic without a prosthetic. So they don't see a prosthetic. And the day they have the prosthetic, the links already in their brain are already connected on how to control it. So there is not that gap between before the accident and after the accident. So I guess that's an extra layer that we enhanced, and I guess that's also another challenge for scaling impact with the lowest price possible, because it's just a mobile app with a small device that can be taken anywhere.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Julian, do you want to go with your question?
Yes, are you conducting any formal research into brain-machine neural interfacing?
Okay, so that's a very good question, and the answer is easy. So we're a tech company or tech startup, so we do a lot of R&D. We did that a couple of years ago, but to have a very practical brain control system, you need implants like the Elon Musk's Neuralink thing. No one will be going in the street with something on their head to control a prosthetic. So EMG signals with the muscles are the most efficient and practical solution for now. However, I guess in the future, by democratizing and make it less risky and less expensive, I guess that will be the future. And our prosthetic is really like, can be linked easily and interfaced with any control systems.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much to our judges and to Team Bionics. We will now call on the next team, Team Field Edge. The video is going to be coming up now while we bring them up on stage.
Did you know that across rain-fed agricultural systems, yield gaps often exceed 1 to 5 tons per hectare? This means that we need better data-driven decisions that can unlock tons of productions per hectare. As a solution, we built Field Edge FL, a lightweight federated learning framework that is delivered in form of a low-cost farm kit with low-cost hardware that reads on-farm sensors and turns this soil data into clear crop recommendation. It works even when the connectivity is limited, and it is very light by design and is tailored to each field. This is the overview of our project. Let's see how it works. Here is our prototype. It consists of a MacBook PC, 24 GB of RAM that acts as our edge server. Then we have a Raspberry Pi 4, which is our client, one of our clients, and this is another Raspberry Pi 4 that is part of our client. And then, after the server has initiated the training continues in the clients after reading the IP address of the client is when the client starts training. And this is how the server shows that it's connected to certain devices, and then how each user is training until the number of training rounds that are already predefined are reached is when the training stops. And for taste data, we have a 7-in-1 sensor, and this just shows the accuracy metrics, precision. So this is our SMS output, our dashboard output, and then the core technological innovation is the lightweight federated learning framework for crop recommendation, which is equivalent to 2 bags of fertilizer, but continuous training and knowledge. Thank you.
Now to the questions. Amaji, do you want to go? And then Julian?
Yes, so thank you for your submission. I like the idea that you're using federated learning, but I see a plethora of challenges ahead in turning this into something real that can be used. Number one, you're solving crop recommendation. The average African farmer is not confused about what to plant. They're already planting on their hectares. They are more concerned about how to improve the productivity of the planting. So you're solving a problem that doesn't even exist. They have already decided I'm planting cassava. All I want to know is, how am I going to make sure that I get maximum productivity from this land? That's number one. The federated machine learning approach is amazing, but for this to work, you have to have so much sensors covering all the land for the thing you get back to actually be useful. So I think this is one of those ones that it's a great idea, but requires a lot more thinking to actually build something that will actually impact African farmers. So it's not a question, it's more of a comment.
Can I respond to the comment? Yeah, so we understand, it really needs a lot of sensors to work. So that was the idea, because we're collecting maybe even per farm, because we have variability even in the farm, spatial variability as well as temporal variability, right? So in a farm, let's say a 1 acre farm, you put so far what we have tested is like we have like 3 sensors. The management zone is defined from the data that we have from remote sensing data. So it determines how we are going to manage the farms or how many sensors are needed in a farm. So we have the data, and then because we put these sensors in the farm, it means that we are collecting data and we are training continuously. So the issue that you say that we'll need so many sensors, yes, but when you have sensors already in one farm, you can use that to train other farms. So yes, and the question of crop recommendation, yeah, because our sensors get the parameters like how much nitrogen fertilizer you need, how much phosphorus, how much is potassium is in the soil. So with that, it means that, okay, the question of not the crop per se, but also you can inform the farmers like what to use or what input to do in a given situation. So yeah.
Okay, Lamek, do you want to go with your question and then back to you?
Yeah. I really like this project. It's a nice one. However, my challenge also with federated learning, how do you aggregate the data to ensure that it's still tailored to my farm? Because you are getting data from different farms and then you aggregate them to train this general model. And how will you then still from there aggregate the data to make sure that that same model will work for me who is planting maize and somebody who is planting, for example, rooibos tea, for example? How do you make it work for everyone and still specialize for every farmer?
So we have a selected crops so far. We're not doing for every crop. So we have selected crops, and then we have the values that are needed for such crops. It's not for every type of crop. So yeah.
And then also in terms of giving me, I need nitrogen, I need phosphorus. I spend a lot of time in the garden, and I also have a family farm in Nigeria. $5 from Amazon, soil testing kits will tell me what is happening in my soil. What do I need? Whether I'm depleted in NPK, it will give me the acidity and all that. So I can still solve that with something very, very cheap. And so this idea that you have is a very powerful idea, but you need to really iterate upon it because it can really do a lot for us. And then also finally in Africa, getting fertilizer from abroad or even fertilizer locally is very, very expensive and adds to the cost of farming. So if you can work on something that can actually use something that is local, like local composting, to drive down the cost for the farmers, that would really, really, really be useful. Thank you.
Okay. Can I also respond to that? So when we
Yes,
were
please.
when we were thinking about this project, it is in Tanzania. The way our the way our Ministry of Agriculture works and the way the fertilizer is being procured for farmers is that it is government controlled. So that's why we had this idea. So yeah, that's the case.
Okay, thank you. We have now come to the end of all our finalists. So thank you, team, for answering the questions and for presenting. I will now hand it back to Fumi and Emeka to take it away.
First of all, I want to put my hands together. Like, let's have a round of applause for those amazing projects and the finalists. Not just them being here, facing those tough questions. Like those questions, I'm like, thank God I'm not the finalist. But also all the work that they put in to get here, right? Yeah, like it's unimaginable. So please let's put a round of applause for them. And like I've always said, please, like if you're watching or you're going to be watching this recording later and you feel that any of them is somebody you want to talk to or you want to reach out to or have a conversation with, please reach out to us. We are very, very happy to put you in touch with them to further the conversations. Like we said, we had to trim down from 350 plus submissions to the 8 that you saw here today. But there are a few, if you watch the podcast with Bolahan and I, you see some of the, just a sample of the submissions that did not make it even to the semifinals. And today we want to show you just a brief glimpse while we wait for Ian to make his way to the podium. A brief glimpse of some of the apps or submissions that was submitted that didn't make it to the final, just so that you get a sense of the breadth and depth of talent that we are dealing with in this competition, and the hope we have in deep tech in Africa. So I'll just run through the videos very quickly, just so that you get a sense of it.
Hi, my name is Shatima. I'm here to introduce an agrobot AI designed to help farmers by recommending them a best seed and fertilizer for their land. My robot used to detect and analyze soil so that it will use machine learning and artificial intelligence system to recommend the best seed and fertilizer for the farmers. Let me show the demonstration of my project. This is my robot car control system. And this is the robot. This is also the water management department. The robot can go manually when it is going. Then, if I toggle it to automatically detect where it is and detect it, so you can see it by your own. So now, if I toggle it, the robot will go. So now it reach where the department is. When it reach, I will ask my robot to analyze my soil. If the robot is analyzing the soil now, so this is the recommended seed and fertilizer. The soil type is sandy and the moisture is 42. This is the nitrogen, this is the phosphorus, and this is the potassium. So the recommended seed I should use here is fertilizer, while the NPK is 21,018. So I can also if I say I want to plant this particular object now, then my robot will water this place. For example, you can see it like this. If I say I plant, so now this is the watering system. It will water for at least 15 seconds. This now for the demonstration, until when this soil moisture detected that the land is watered. So this is my project.
Okay, we'll go to the next one.
Hi, so I'm Stella and I'm here to talk about AgriTrack. So AgriTrack is an equipment sharing verification tool for track owners to verify work that was actually done on the site, because time spent on the site is not equal to work done on the site. This would settle a lot of payment disputes between track owners and drivers, and also bring confidence to farmers whose sites are being worked on. So after feedback, we have revamped our dashboard. So here is the default settings. First of all, we are using a sample data we collected to demonstrate the idea. And here are the default settings we are using for the analysis. So this is how we are detecting a session. That is if there's a break of 15 minutes or more. This is the actual width of the part of the tractor that's doing the work. And this is the unit we are using. So from that sample data, we have 3,500 GPS points, 11 unique fields, productivity share 71%. That's the out of 100%, only 71% is actual work. The average, the crop per second harvested, the total distance covered, total time, and then estimated area. And then we have the map here, which is a visual representation for track owners to see how the work was done. So from this field, we moved here, moved here, moved here, moved here. So this also helps track this as well. Sorry, tractor owners. And this is our sessions. This is how we detect. Over here, we saw how we're detecting the sessions. So this is the session data, sorry, the sessions we detected, which was about 20 sessions. And then you can see more data about that. And then this is the sample data we used for this analysis. And then here you can export, summarize and export what we have done.
So you can download the data in any form, as either as a receipt or as a session summary. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye.
Here's the next one.
Oh gosh. Problems identified and the explanation. This is loss of lives, property in your homes, offices, and any place where gas is actually located. Now, briefly, I'm going to be showing you all how this works. First, we're going to put on the device. The light bulb there indicates electricity in your home. And now these are LCDs showing that the home is safe for now. Using the lighter, which is exactly the same gas as that of the existing gas, we're going to use it to test our sensor. So once the sensor detects gas, it shuts down electricity in the home. And that alarm you just heard, the alarm that is going to ring once the gas has been detected by the sensor as well. Looking at the video, the light came back immediately, the gas decayed has left. The sensor no longer detected any gas, so the electricity which was shut down for a while has gone up. At the same time, we have an app, an email, and also a message that you can use to receive alerts wherever you are, anywhere in the world. So looking at our app, you can see it telling you messages saying there's a gas leakage in your home, and also in your email you can also receive a message all simultaneously. So now this our device can also work without NEPA light, meaning that is to say there is a solar battery as a DC source that can work and power the device with or without an AC or NEPA light. So briefly, we are going to test it using our battery. Looking carefully, the device.
Every year, patients die, not because medicine isn't available, but because of the errors in how it's delivered. A little mistake, a late response, a missed sign. Imagine a mother in rural Africa or a child undergoing chemotherapy, where one mistake can cause a fatal disaster. We are the Billiard experts team, and we are here and we have built an automated infusion system that doesn't just deliver medication in microliter precision, but also monitors vital signs in real time and adapts instantly.
Yes, we engineered a complete system that brings precision and intelligence together in one device. Let us show you how Fluidix works. The system is turned on, after which the brushless DC cooling fan regulates the temperature. A separate switch turns on the dashboard and processors, activating the keypad and smart screens. Healthcare providers can interact directly with Fluidix using the keypad. Key details like the patient's weight, allergy, fluid quantity, and time frame are imputed. As infusion begins, the patient's vitals is being measured, likes of temperature, heart rate, and SpO2, and securely sent to a cloud dashboard your doctor can access. In case of emergencies, there's a reset button that resets the ongoing infusion, and also a stop button that terminates existing or current infusion.
What makes FluidixSpeak unique is its closed-loop design. The vital band captures biometric data. The ESP32 with AI algorithms interprets it. The NEMA17 driven pump adapts infusion instantly, and caregivers are alerted in real time.
Portable, solar-powered, and AI-driven, FluidixSpeak makes smart healthcare accessible.
In every election in Nigeria, millions of people wait in long queues. They face fraud, they face mistrust. And the truth is, most people don't believe their vote matters. But what if voting was made safe and secure, like opening your mobile phone? That's why we built VoteLink, a blockchain-powered voting system with biometric security. Now, every vote counts. Every vote cannot be tampered with. The amazing part is that it just takes 3 minutes.
And here is how the machine works. A voter walks up to the machine, then they are prompted to select their preferred language, either English, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, or even Pidgin English. Then they are asked to verify their voter ID card, and also they have to do their biometrics, so they can choose from fingerprints or facial recognition. And here is where the magic happens. We integrated anti-spoofing AI detection, so no photo, no marks, or no deepfake can fool it. Seconds, they cast their vote. After casting their vote, a QR code receipt is printed for the voter. After the whole voting process is done, the organizer can then upload the vote on chain, which the voter can take their printed QR code receipt to check if their vote was committed and reviewed. The amazing aspect of it is that not even us, not the voter, not anyone can see who a voter voted for. And in just 3 minutes, the voting process is done.
This is not just another voting system. It is fast, it is secure, it is transparent. And the amazing thing is, it's built here for Africa.
I believe this can restore trust back in elections, not just here in Nigeria, but across the continent.
And today, we are taking that first step towards making that future possible.
Fame is a file transfer app, just like Sender. The good thing is, it is very easy to use and it is available for all devices. Come, let's check it out. To use the Fame app, all you need to do is to connect both devices to the same hotspot or use a Wi-Fi. Then launch the app on both devices and it connects by itself. Click on select file, then select the file you want to send. The transfer speed usually ranges from 10 MB per second to 30 MB per second or more, depending on the file size and the type of file you are sending. With the Fame app, you don't have to worry about transferring files because the app is available for all devices you can think of. Now that that's done, what do you think about the Fame app? Do you think it is better than Sender? Drop your comment below. Like, share, and subscribe also. Thanks for watching.
My name is John Kinyanjui, the creator of Scale Nodes. So Scale Nodes is a simple app for hosting deployments, apps from one-click applications to managed to web services, such as built on top of Next.js. So I have several examples, as you can see here, and we have GoRank, Svelte, app, and Next.js. Now I'll show you a bit of the new service. So if you create a new service, you can create one, let's say GoRank, for example, and choose the framework. Go to your GitHub, choose the GoRank template, and say deploy. Simple as that. Simple, not much. Also, as it is deploying, I'll be showing you for Marketplace, where you can click on any of these services, for example anytime, which is and like that, African Deep, and launch. So you can see they are building, both of them. So one might build faster. I believe this will build a bit fast, but that's all about Scale Nodes, where you just have a simple interface where you can deploy your application and one-click deployment, such as WordPress or N10, which is a workflow service currently, and you are provided with a URL. Now, as you can see, African Deep is provided with a URL, which you can test it and work on that. Hopefully, we hope to, currently we are leveraging the power of Kubernetes, which is helping us to scale and orchestrate. So if more customers increase or more people want to more resources, they are going to be given such easily by just increasing either vertically or horizontally scaling the systems. Thank you for your time. That's all for now for Scale Nodes.
My name is Vendr, and I present to you Accra IQ, a municipal transit optimization solution. One of the biggest challenges that we have in Africa is the poor planning of our settlements and transit systems. And this leads to a lot of inefficiencies, wastages, and pollution as well. Data collected on the Accra transit systems from 2016 shows you a typical example where you have over 651 overlaps in our transit system. A typical route from Tema to Circle is about 12.3 kilometers. Tema to Circle via Labone is 12.8 kilometers. Tema to Circle via Airport is 13.1 kilometers. And this introduces a lot of waste without serving any additional passengers. That is what the Accra IQ solution tackles by using dynamic time warping, which looks at the geometric similarities of these routes, clustering them, and selecting the most optimal one out of them using pop optimization techniques. This dynamic time warping solution was first employed in speech synthesis, which has been transported into this transit solution. And also there's a front-facing pathfinder and fare finder implementation in this solution to allow those using the roads to be able to find the most optimal routes and the fares attached with them. Now, a typical example what you would find is when you load the solution, which is already pre-set up with Docker and ready to go, you'll be able to find already preloaded Accra data, which you can run your optimization and it will show you the before and after of the optimization. For this Accra solution, you realize that there was a reduction of about 38.9 based on the municipal default preset. We have other presets as well that you can use, or if you want to manually tweak it, you can tweak it as well over here. Now, this comes with a lot of cost savings, which are pre-programmed based on parameters of the current time. Now, the fare routes tracker allows you to select a start point and an end point with a fallback fare. A typical example being from Tema to Circle would use these number of stops, which everyday users can use to check, okay, if I want to go from this point to this point, these are the stops, or this is the most optimal route to use using a public transport system, and this is an estimated fare. So this is, in summary, the solution.
All right. Thank you, everyone. As you've seen, it's been a tough decision picking who actually got to be here. And this is just a sample. There are a lot more innovative submissions that we got. So next, the judges are going into the deliberation room. And we will be having a session with E. Aboyeji, who hopefully will still be able to join us. But either ways, we hope to reconvene in the next 10 minutes for the session with E. Aboyeji, and then there will be the audience vote where you will actually get the opportunity to pick who your own winner is, and then we'll hear who the judges have picked. So see you at the top of the hour, and yeah, the tension is building. We'll get to know who wins. Thank you, everyone.
So we are on now.
Okay.
Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. All right. So it's been a very intense couple of hours, and we've gotten to see the submissions, the pitches from the different teams that made it to the finals. And we really want to recognize Future Africa as one of our title partners. They largely made all of these beautiful work that we're doing. They made it easy and they made it seamless. And we want to thank you. We want to thank you very much for your support all through the 3 months for this challenge. Thank you so much to Future Africa. And now we have some questions for you about the challenge and generally about what Future Africa represents on the continent. So I just kick off right now because so that we can cover all our questions before we're out of time. Okay.
Fantastic.
So what is your, from where you sit, what is your view on the current state of deep tech on the continent? We just want to know generally, based on your view, it could be your personal view, and also as a venture capitalist, and
Yeah.
as a rep of what Future Africa is currently building. What is
Yeah.
your view on the state of deep tech in Africa?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And I think for us at Future Africa, it's actually been our privilege to be able to support this type of work, and to have the benefit of all the mentors and participants. And we're so proud of what has been accomplished with this challenge. And we're particularly very thankful to IHS, very thankful to Ilori Innovation Hub, who are co-collaborators on this project. And I think this is not the last you're going to hear of us. Now, as to my thoughts about deep tech, the truth of the matter is, I think for a very long time, deep tech has sounded to most of us in the venture community, and also I would even argue in the society, as a solution looking for a problem, right? Because I mean, if you talk to people about different deep tech solutions, they'll say, well, how do you expect that we haven't eaten to worry about, you know, all these hardware and all these seemingly futuristic things? And honestly, for a very long time, I thought it was maybe a function of choice. Like it was just a function of like, this is what people, this is the only thing you can do with deep tech is all these futuristic things and all of that. But what I didn't realize was that from a perspective, it was a perspective issue. The people who were directing and defining deep tech for the world just didn't have to deal with these problems, like like wastage of food, low yield, no energy. For them, these were not problems that innovation needed to solve because governments had already solved them. And then what I love about this wave of deep tech is that we're now in a circumstance where deep tech is no longer a solution looking for a problem, but is now a solution to problems. And a new generation of deep tech enthusiasts are actually bringing a global South perspective to solving these problems at scale and leveraging the benefit of new technologies to solve this problem, so that a lot of problems that we previously thought only government could solve can now be solved by very innovative teams of individuals who are empowered with the skills and with deep technology that can amplify their problem solving capabilities. So I'm very excited about it. I think it's something worth investing in. When I think of investment in waves, so when I think about where I've come from, I say we've had the talent wave, which was when Andela was built. We've had the fintech wave. We've had the creative wave. I think we're still going to go through another blockchain wave. And then we have the deep tech wave. But I can already see that the wave is already starting to emerge. It's far from sure, but we're going to get there. And those who invest the time to learn the skills that are critical for this next wave are going to ride the top of the wave.
All right, all right. Honestly, I do not disagree with you in that. I do not disagree with you. So now, deep tech has become solutions to problems, especially very nitty gritty problems that we've had issues, and we've had a huge challenge solving across the years. I think we've come to a point where deep tech can actually, we can use deep tech to take on those problems head on. Thank you very much for that response. So now the next question is, what do you think it takes to grow a thriving deep tech ecosystem in Africa? And by ecosystem, we're talking about infrastructure, talent, policy, funding, and all of those things that make up a solid ecosystem across the continent. So from where you sit, what do you think it takes to build that ecosystem, especially the structure that we need for it to
Yeah.
thrive on the continent?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is still talent. So similar to what you're doing. building a talent community is very critical. Building a thriving ecosystem of any sort, because the reality of learning is that learning happens in peer communities, right? It no longer happens in universities. We can do University of Deep Tech degrees from now till the sun comes home. But if you don't have peer learning communities of practice that can actually apply the learnings almost immediately, you're going to struggle. But then once people like when you assemble talent, the next thing you need is infrastructure and tools, right? You need labs, you need hardware labs, you need hardware tools, you need some know-how, you need a better value chain for microchips and controllers, all those things you need, right, to be able to actually get the best out of the deep tech, right? Then the next thing you need is you need markets. And by markets, I think for deep tech, it's going to be very different. I think, yes, you can make deep tech stuff for the sake of making deep tech stuff. But if you really think about how we can really leverage deep tech for applied research, what we really need is for companies to be incentivized um, to create budgets for research and development so that deep tech can then be applied to solving the kind of challenges that large corporates face, as opposed to them buying the technology from elsewhere. And that's why I'm very excited about the Lagos Innovation Bill, which would actually give companies money for research, and that would create a market for deep tech, because policy creates big markets. And then lastly, you need an ecosystem. We need to be able to touch into the universities, touch point to the government through NOTAP, and through the intellectual property office. So we need a system, an ecosystem that touch points to every relevant member and carries them along in the implementation of what needs to be done to be able to tech ecosystem to emerge. So those would be my answers. Can you hear
All
me?
right, all right. Yes, we can hear you fine. We can hear you fine. So I see the especially for the policy side where for these innovations to be wide scale and or large scale, better still, and for it to move as quickly as we need it to, we need some power, some what muscle from the government for it to scale as widely and as quickly as possible. So we hear you on that side. We hear you on that side. And now my next questions are based on the Africa Deep Tech Challenge, because we have largely carried all our partners along from the beginning of the challenge till this very moment. And we just wanted to know from where you sit, if you found any of these submissions, if you found any one of them intriguing, interesting, based on what you've seen, especially across the continent, which one of them do you think really caught your attention, and why?
Um, I want to be careful to not prejudge or bias the jury. So I'm not going to stick any specific ones, but I've been very impressed with all of them. The ones on health I found particularly intriguing, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't want to bias the jury or the audience. As a responsible sponsor, lest this be construed as judgment. I'm sure my mentor, Oko Emeka, is very happy I answered that way. If yes,
Okay, okay. Honestly, I mean, we'll take your response. We'll take your response. So from what you said, you found the ones on health, actually very interesting. From your response, you found the submissions on health very interesting. Yeah.
yes, I did. I found the ones on health very, very interesting. Yes.
Oh, okay. Now the next question is quite related to this one. And the next question is again, based on your experience, what do you think teams, especially innovative teams who are now looking to build something out of the continent, what sectors do you think they should really double down on and like find problems to solve there? I know you mentioned health, so I'm thinking, are there other sectors like that that you think they are very
Oh yeah,
interesting projects that can come out of them, and what are they?
yeah. I think there's a lot of definitely interesting things that we can that can come out of deep tech application of deep tech research. Um, for example, I mean energy. Energy is a big one for me. Thinking about energy solutions that can come out of deep tech research that can help us conserve energy or make it more available and applicable to people. Connectivity is another big one, right? Just being able to connect people to the internet and enabling them to be able to, despite the constraints of affordability and and capacity, be able to enjoy internet service. Compress so things like compression algorithms and things like that are very interesting to me. Something else I'm thinking a lot about is also I think a lot about tracking and asset management, basically. So we have a lot of things in this country we don't know. We can't track where they are or what they are or what they're doing or whatever. So what can we do in that respect? You see what I mean? Um, Something else I'm very passionate about is food. Very passionate about bioscience and food as well. What can deep tech help us save, repurpose food items or material science, right? Help us talk to them and then see if you can pack. Repurpose food, repurpose different biomaterials, right? To make new things, right? We don't always have to export it to other countries that have figured it out. We can figure out new use cases for our things ourselves as replacement for certain things that we import, right? So there's a lot of material science stuff I'm very excited about as well. I can keep going if you want me to, but I'm very
Oh
there's a lot.
no, we wish we had all day. We would love to hear you.
Me too.
I'm so
Me too.
I'm so sure that we can structure another meeting where you come and talk
Yes.
extensively about what Future Africa is doing and how they feed into the deep tech innovations on the continent. But now we have two more questions left for the sessions and would like to go through them.
Please.
Okay,
Questions.
so how is
As in.
Future Africa? How is Future Africa thinking about supporting deep tech founders and innovators on the continent?
Fantastic question. I think this is something I'm still wrestling with. But here's where we are, right? Right now, we have an accelerator program focused on hardware innovators in Ilorin that we're going to be launching soon. And in that program, we're going to try and help you get to commercial applications. You see, and with those commercial applications, we will be in a position to be able to more deeply support in helping you to get to your first customer. And as you know, with deep tech, with hard tech and anything like that, it does require a customer because of the expense, right? You can't kind of like prototype your way entirely without a clear instruction and so on. So we're working very closely with our partners at IHS and a few other large enterprises to see what kind of problems can deep tech help them solve. So this is sort of a big thing for us. In the future, I would hope that we can do more in terms of infrastructure, hardware labs, in terms of providing expertise. Yeah. Expertise. Okay. Expertise and talent, things like that. Very, very important. And finally, finding new talent for deep tech in the universities and through the promotion of science, technology, engineering, and math programs in secondary schools. Because I think at the end of the day, the one thing that can stymie the industry is if the flow of talent starts to dim. And we have something similar to what we had in the software industry, where, people are now demanding millions of naira to develop very simple technologies, because that tends to stunt growth, and also it decreases the utility of different things. So, yeah.
Okay, okay. And are there any partnerships that you're looking at? Are there any upcoming partnerships that we should be looking out for that Future Africa is currently gunning for, and that would also stimulate the growth of deep tech on the continent?
If I knew him, I wouldn't be able to tell you anyway. So, but I would say this: I am having a very interesting conversation with a big German deep tech player that we're fingers crossed going to work with. But let's see. So I think
Okay.
there's a need for a lot more corporate innovation, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Any programs or um, like accelerator programs or incubator programs that Future Africa is also working on?
Well, yeah, like I said, we're working on the one in Ilorin, which will be announced very soon. So we're putting some of the programs, you understand, in Ilorin. We're putting some of the problems that our partners have in Ilorin into a request for innovation. We'll spread it with the community, and we would welcome deep applications of deep tech from the community.
All right, all right, all right. Honestly, we're looking out for these programs, because of course the ecosystem would not grow by itself. It has to grow with intention, and the intention comes from programs like these that Future Africa and other reputable venture programs are already putting up. So thank you so much. Thank you for being one of
Thank
the
you.
title partners for the Africa Deep Tech Challenge 2025. And thank you for gracing this fireside chat. It was great chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And
Thank you.
I'll be handing over to Emeka from here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Fumi and Iyin. Thank you so much. Again, just wanted to give the shout out if we hadn't given it out enough, about the support that we've gotten from Future Africa. And I'm sure you've heard from him all the great things they're planning and that we're working on to make sure that builders like you, right, all the deep tech practitioners, get the recognition and support that you deserve in the region, right? You guys shouldn't be outliers. You should be the one leading the charge. And really, what we're trying to do is to make sure that you get that support. And we're very, very grateful to have Future Africa with us on this journey. All right, so we are now, I guess, at the business end of the reason we're here today, which is to announce the winners. It's been a very, very, very tough deliberation. I can tell you that. It's been very, very tough, but now we're at that point where we are going to announce the winners. And, I want to say thank you to everybody who's participated. Yeah, I'm just speechless at this point, to be honest. So let's get to it. So the first is the audience choice. And the audience choice, the interesting thing about it is that is a winner that you actually get to pick, right? And we're going to do that using the Zoom poll. And so I'm going to start now. I'm going to start the poll now. And you should see this pop up on your screen. And this enables you to vote for who wins the audience choice. Audience choice is going to take away a prize of $500. And you get to pick who that is. So I've launched it now. and you should see this pop up on your screen. See the votes coming in. We'll let that run for about 2 minutes. Yeah, the votes are coming in fast and furious. All right, we'll give it another few seconds. Okay. I think we're still waiting on a few people to put in their votes. We'll be stopping in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we can end the poll now. And looking through, and the winner of the audience votes is just want to make sure I get it right. I can see the highest score is 31%. And that goes to Power. Power is the winner of the audience votes with 31%. Power is a solution that tracks and manages energy usage. And so with that, they are going to be taking away a prize of $500. Thank you to everyone who voted for them. So at least they are not going home empty-handed. They are sure of that. So congratulations to the Power team. All right, so that's it. Audience choice that has been selected. And so for the third prize, right, and before I even go into that, I want to reiterate something that I said earlier, right, when we started this competition. We guaranteed everybody who chose to take part in this competition that we will make sure that they end up benefiting in one way or another, and that they will not be the same again because they took part in this competition, that this competition will change the trajectory of their career in some way, shape, or form. We tried to live up to that as best we could by making sure that even for those who did not make it to the semifinals or anything like that, we made sure we provided knowledge, contacts with subject matter experts so that they could learn more about their chosen field. And we actually did a review podcast, and we can share the link here later, where we talked about areas where they could improve so that they could take advantage of future opportunities. The semifinalists had access to mentors who helped them, or who will, hopefully, they built relationships that will last beyond this competition going forward. And of course, the finalists are here. They've pitched to all of you. They've gotten that exposure. Some of them are going to walk away with cash prizes from this event, and some may not. But everybody has put in their best. And one promise we've made is that regardless of whether you make it to the finals, make it to the semifinals, whether you win or not, any project, right? And you can go back to the gallery, put the link in on the slide earlier. You can go back to the gallery. Any project that we feel maybe has a potential, we will do our best to reach back to that project and lift them up to where we feel they should be, like maybe connect them with people, give them any advice we can. Anything that's within our power to do, we will do it for that project. Whether you made it to the semifinals, the finals, regardless of who you are, so long as we feel you did something special, we'll do our best to support you, right? And so keep building, keep innovating no matter what, regardless of whether you end up walking away with the cash prize or not. And so that brings us to the announcement of the third prize that's going to get equity-free grant of $3,000 with a host of other things that we talked about, connection to investors, mentorship, and so on and so forth. And that third prize is going to, drum roll, Muscle, right? Muscle is an innovative project that is from Ghana, that actually is an all-in-one solution for you to manage your small store, make sales, keep your records, and so on and so forth. So the judges really felt great about Muscle and what they built, everything they did around the innovation itself, their technical documentation, everything about them. So congratulations to Team Muscle. Let's put our hands together for them. And then the second prize, which is a $5,000 equity-free grant with, everything we already talked about, is going to, drum roll, Cure Bionics. So let's put our hands together for Cure Bionics from Tunisia. Really, really innovative, really put in a lot of work. And, obviously, like, we all saw how far-reaching and impactful this solution could be. This is something that we really need. Bringing these bionics to people who need them at the right price point is awesome. The judges were really impressed with the innovation and all the work that Cure Bionics has put into it. And so congratulations to Cure Bionics for taking the second prize in the Africa Deep Tech Challenge 2025. And as we get up to the final winner, you will remember that we have the Power Management category prize sponsored by IHS Towers. IHS is, a leading company in the region when it comes to infrastructure for telecommunications and energy management. And they put forward this prize to encourage innovations in this area. And this is a prize of $4,000 equity-free grant going to the winner of this prize. And after all the deliberation, this prize is going to, drum roll, to Power. So let's put our hands together for them. They got this prize because of the innovation that they've brought into their solution to help, monitor, energy consumption and everything going on around your energy infrastructure. This is one solution that the judges feel that if the team is able to put in the work and bring this to bear, there's definitely a lot of applications, for a lot of industries, actually, not least IHS, right? This is something I'm sure that the IHS team would really want to take a look at to learn more about. So congratulations to the Power team, and more power to you. I know that was a very bad joke, but forgive me. Congrats. All right. And now to the big one. This is the first prize, $8,000 in equity-free grants. And I'll say this team, or this project was chosen by the judges because it checked all the boxes in terms of what this competition represents and, you know, what we've asked you to do. From the innovation piece to, you know, everything around the technical piece, the documentation, the tool orchestration, everything, you know, this is where this project scored the highest. And, you know, I don't want to give it away by saying what I wanted to say now. I'll say it after it has been announced. But the judges, after a lot of deliberation, finally arrived on this one as the winner, as a team or a project that has encapsulated everything around the Africa Deep Tech Challenge, both the cross-functional nature of the team, the innovation that was put into the solution, and just everything. I know people are saying, call the name already. What's going on? And so without any further ado, I'm going to announce the winner of the 2025 Africa Deep Tech Challenge is Team FarmSpeak. Congratulations to Team FarmSpeak. Congratulations. Put hands together for you. Your solution was really innovative. Again, it was very cross-functional in terms of how you were able to put everything together to bring a solution to us. And also not just the cross-functional part of it, the documentation was on point as well. The innovation was also very interesting. I'm sure the fact that you guys had either a patent or a patent candidate, right, in your innovation, did a lot, you know, to sway the judges in your direction. But again, congratulations to you, and we look forward to seeing what you and everybody else gets to build next. All right. So with that, we are coming to the end of today. Thank you so much for being patient with us and hanging out with us and coming to view this broadcast. Thank you to the finalists for all the work that you've put in. I can guarantee you it's not going to be in vain. We're going to be with you every step of the way. We're going to keep tabs on you and work with you and make sure in anything you do, whether or not your current projects end up becoming unicorns or not, we'll keep in touch with you to make sure in anything you do, as alumni of the Africa Deep Tech Community Challenge, we are invested in your success. And to those who tuned in to view this, thank you for coming to support us. Thank you for coming to support the innovators on our continent. And we really appreciate you. If you want to stay in touch with the Africa Deep Tech community to understand what we're going to be up to next, please follow us on our social media channels. The links are there. I'll give you a moment to take pictures of the QR code or screenshots or whatever. There's so much more we have coming down the pipeline. So just keep it locked, you know, keep tabs on us and you'll hear more about that over the next 6 months. But this is just the beginning. Our vision is that we will have as much, if not more, innovation coming out of the region than you're seeing from anywhere else in the world. And it's a team sport, it's a collective effort, and we need all of you to make this happen. So once again, thank you so much for joining us. Please follow us, keep in touch. Massive congratulations to the winners. Massive congratulations to the finalists. Massive congratulations and thank you to everybody who participated in the challenge. And we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.